Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hello, Scribe.
Hello, Scribe.
Your Lord of Pennies is here as well. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello, Satsu.
I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey, and oh boy, do we have a great show for you tonight. All kinds of hijinks in Washington and then on the YouTube itself. And wow, what a day, what a day. Gentlemen, how are you? Satsu, how are you today?
I am good, but I am kind of tired.
Were you up too late playing video games?
I was with you guys.
That happens, that happens indeed. Scribe, how are you today, sir?
I'm disappointed.
In me?
No. I bought a true crime book. I bought a true crime book about a serial killer, one that I was sort of peripherally aware of.
Okay.
And I was like, oh boy, I'm going to learn about the details of this serial killer. Because all I know is that before he could be captured, before he could be arrested and or interrogated or anything, he killed himself. So obviously this book's going to tell me about all the stuff that they found out in the interim. 90% of that book is conjecture and sort of recreation of what might have happened because they don't know, because he killed himself before he could reveal all his secrets.
So they can find out.
Yeah. It's like, well, we know he did these things and we suspect he did these other things. So I'm going to weave this narrative and recreating scenarios that we couldn't possibly have knowledge about, just to sort of maintain this timeline and narrative. And then I get to the end of the book, and I knew this. I knew this going in. It's like there's no way you could know that he had this conversation with his victim the way that you lay it out, because, well, he's dead, and the victim was dead. He killed himself before he could tell any of the stories. So what? So I got through the book. I was like, I just read fiction. I wasted my money. I didn't learn anything I didn't already know, and everything else I can't take reliable because it's all made up. That was my day, aside from work, which is just work, and here I am.
Welcome back, Satsu.
Hello.
Now I'm going to try to make this work. Hopefully it will.
What's that?
Let's see. Can you guys hear this?
Yes.
Damn.
Is that Pumpkin?
That is Pumpkin. That is my little raptor.
Oh, that's cute, I think.
That is... That's my girl. Yeah, she's learning to use her voice and stuff, and one of the things she likes to do is just yell for fun, and it is so cute.
Nice.
But she sounds like a little raptor. And she bites. Be careful. If you get your finger anywhere near her face, she tries to bite it. She's teething. Nice. So let's see. My day, I fell today, y'all, but not down the stairs.
Up the stairs.
No, I was just walking across the living room, and my leg gave out, and I fell into a box. I'm the best walker ever.
Clearly.
If there was a world championship in walking, I would win it.
We need to get you an exosuit.
I'm fine. It's just one of those things I'm trying to get used to. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot to take my medicine, so I'll do that after we start the news. But before we get to that, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies and video game. Hit that like button and share our stuff. Anything else we need to talk about before we get into the news?
No singing.
Oh, it is 7 Days to Die open server night. Guys, if you have the game, make sure you update it. There was an update that came out just a few hours ago. The server's already been updated, so if you're not updated, you won't be able to get in. So make sure you do that. And yeah, with that, Scribbles, what happened in the world today?
Well, Monkey, I have an analysis of what happened with Michael Cohen today.
Did you get to watch any of it?
Well, not at work, not during all it was happening. I watched a couple of clips or compilations of different things after I got home. What I saw didn't impress me as far as like one of the first things he says is, I don't know of any collusion. And then he said, I watched a lot of media reports about there being this meeting in Trump Tower. And I remember this one time where Don Jr. went up to Don Sr. and said something about a meeting So I'm pretty sure that was it. That was basically the quality of testimony that I heard, but I didn't hear the whole thing, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I only got to watch I could have watched more than an hour, but then Alex Jones was back on Joe Rogan and I had to go watch that shit show.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did see, I mean, there wasn't much. Yeah, Jacob, go get Eve here, please. Please ask her to come join us for a moment. Tell her to bring her ash.
Okay, well, until then, this analysis is from our favorite friend at CNN, Chris Saliza. 8 things I learned from Michael Cohen today. Sounds like a Sesame Street episode. In one of the most anticipated congressional hearings in at least a generation. Is that true?
For them.
I don't understand how Michael Cohen is one of the most anticipated congressional hearings in a generation.
Hold that thought. James Colley, thank you. Was I the only person that missed Trey Gowdy today? There was no bipartisan in trying to find the facts? Most of all, no Gowdy mode. I didn't much miss him, but Chaos Eve is here, and it is her birthday. And we are going to stop everything because it's Eve's birthday. Because I love Eve. She's a sweetheart, and we have to sing to her. So, yes, we do. Chaos Eve, are you out there? Are you listening right now? I know you are. Don't you make nasty noises at me talking to Eve like that. Stop it.
You should play Pumpkin while we're singing Happy Birthday.
Oh, I don't have it pulled back up. Oh, I'll have to do that later. Anyway.
Aww. Okay, I'll do my best impression.
Eve.
Oh God, please no.
This one is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Chaos.
Happy birthday to you.
You sound like a defective gremlin.
Happy birthday, Chaos Eve.
Now you sound like a drowning defective gremlin.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Eve. I hope you had a great one. I really do. Love you, sweetie. Okay, we were talking about some important intergeneration thing.
Yeah. The most anticipated congressional hearing in a generation. According to Chris Saliza, that's what Michael Cohen represents.
Didn't we just have the most important one a couple of weeks back?
I am pretty sure there were some congressional hearings regarding 9/11 that were probably more interesting.
Well, he said anticipated. So what about Kavanaugh?
Yeah, exactly. Kavanaugh or Blasey Ford.
Or is he trying to say in front of the House and he's just not smart enough to say House hearing?
Anyway, Michael Cohen spent better than 6 hours answering questions from members of the House Oversight Committee about the decade he spent working for Donald Trump, the largesse of which had nothing to do with the presidency. Much of the hearing was simply partisan jousting. At a congressional hearing, are you yeah, anyway.
Penis jousting.
Yeah, committee Democrats sought to tease out details of Trump's role in hush money payments made to 2 women alleging affairs with him in the mid-2000s and how long conversations about the Trump Tower Moscow project continued into the 2016 general election campaign. Republicans sought to remind people that Cohen was a liar, having already pleaded guilty to lying to Congress, and was likely to write a book about his experiences. Parentheses, I'm still not sure what that second point has to do with anything, but that's what they focused on, parentheses.
Real quick over on the Streamlabs. Thank you, Cassie, who says, thank you for the birthday song, guys. I loved it. Hey, we love you. Least we can do.
Yeah, I can growl like a raptor anytime. Chris, if he's planning to write a book, if he's planning to profit off of this, there is a motive, there is an incentive to sensationalize for the sake of book sales. You're not sure what that has to do with anything? It goes to credibility, Chris. If this was a trial, that would be a point the prosecution or the opposing counsel, I should say, would bring up to challenge the person's credibility, on top of the fact that he's already going to jail for lying to Congress. So
I think I only got to see 3 Republicans ask questions, and all 3 of them asked about that. So they might have overdone it a little bit, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It does go to motive, especially to somebody who's already admitted to lying to Congress.
Amid all of the yelling and partisanship, however, we did learn some things from Cohen, and he confirmed some other things. My list is below. Okay. Number 1, Cohen said Trump spoke with Roger Stone about WikiLeaks. Said Cohen in his opening statement, quote, Mr. Stone told Mr. Trump that he had just gotten off the phone with Julian Assange and that Mr. Assange told Mr. Stone that within a couple of days, there would be a massive dump of emails that would damage Hillary Clinton's campaign, unquote. Okay, that's important. This is back to Chris. That's important because Trump has said previously he never spoke to Stone about WikiLeaks and never directed anyone to contact WikiLeaks to find out about when it might release emails stolen from the Democratic National Committee and Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta.
Of those 2 statements, I'm sorry, of the 2 statements from the president, maybe he didn't remember ever having that conversation, but he didn't direct anybody to. That would be the criminality part, talking to somebody about the illegal dumps. If somebody had already done it and then told him about it, that's a different thing.
Yeah, if Trump lied about never speaking to Stone about it, okay, that's not a crime. But even in this description of what Cohen's talking about, what happened would have been functionally no different than a reporter telling Trump that a dump was coming. I mean, it doesn't show anything about like collusion or conspiracy at all. I mean, WikiLeaks was going to do this regardless.
Yeah.
Unless you've got evidence to the contrary. I mean, which this guy doesn't offer up. So, okay, Trump's a liar. I'll stipulate. And isn't it an impeachable offense in this level?
Real quick, Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. Greetings and salutations. Sending love from the Blind Girl stream. We all love you guys. Love you back.
Thank you. Number 2, Cohen confirmed Trump directed him to pay off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Well, I think that's pretty much a given at this point. In pleading guilty in the Southern District of New York, Cohen said, and prosecutors confirmed, that Trump had directed and coordinated hush money payments to the 2 women who alleged they had affairs with Trump. In his opening statement, Cohen said, quote, he asked me to pay off an adult film star with whom he had an affair and to lie to his wife about it, which I did, unquote. Cohen also presented a $35,000 personal check signed by Trump that he described as one in a series of repayments from the president for the $130,000 in hush money Cohen paid to Daniels. Yes, I think we've all agreed that probably happened and that Trump is lying about not having anything to do with it. And it's a campaign finance violation. Potentially.
Oh, it's absolutely a campaign finance violation. I don't know whether Trump specifically said pay her off. He may have said take care of this, because there's talk in Cohen's I don't know if it was in his opening statement or if it was in his testimony, but where he talks about how people who worked for Trump just knew what he meant.
Right.
Like he'd give him the wink, you know? So again, I mean,
well, I
think that's what he meant. Absolutely. He meant for Cohen to go make this go away. But I think it's a stretch to say that he told him to do it, if that makes sense.
Well, that was of the clips that I saw, that was the gist of what I got from his testimony about things he either witnessed or conversations he had. That he was making assumptions about what he was either seeing or being told. And that's hearsay. It's nothing more than his imagination, short of there being some documentation. Now, if you think he's a reliable witness in some fashion, which you shouldn't because he's going to jail for lying to Congress. And what was he doing today? He was testifying in front of Congress. Anyway, number 3, Trump lawyer Jay Sekulow, if I'm saying that correctly, and others edited Cohen's congressional testimony in August 2017. I don't know anything about those. Cohen has previously pleaded guilty to lying to Congress. In written testimony he submitted to the House and Senate Intelligence Committees about how long he and Trump World, is that a theme park? Anyway, stayed in contact with the Russians about a potential Trump Tower development in Moscow. Cohen said in his testimony these conversations ended in January 2016, but later acknowledged they continued through at least June 2016. In his testimony today, Cohen said he submitted that testimony to be reviewed by Sekulow, Trump's personal lawyer, and others as part of a joint defense agreement in place at the time. It is unclear whether Sekulow or others knew Cohen was being candid with them. Sekulow responded later Wednesday saying, quote, "Today's testimony by Michael Cohen that attorneys for the president edited or changed his statement to Congress to alter the duration of the Trump Tower Moscow negotiations is completely false." So Cohen was trying to say that he didn't actually lie, that his testimony was edited before it got to the final destination. That sounds like he's trying to make excuses after the fact now.
Yeah, right.
So he's accusing Sekulow and anybody else involved with evidence tampering, is what he's saying.
Yeah, he did that a couple of times today.
Yeah, the problem is he's already pleaded guilty to it. So you can't have it both ways there, buckaroo. Sorry. Which means that this doesn't, like his Chris Saliza's thing is it doesn't confirm anything. It doesn't mean anything. He's already guilty, Chris. What? Number 4, Cohen said he briefed Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr. a number of times about Trump Tower Moscow. Cohen offered more details in his conversations with members of the Trump family about the project in Moscow. He said that he briefed the president's eldest son and daughter an estimated 10 times about the project. That's it? Oh, I thought that went on further. Nope,
that's it.
Okay. Number 5, Cohen made clear that Trump never directly asked him to lie to Congress.
He said that repeatedly. I saw a Democrat grilling him. Did he tell you to? No, he did not tell me to lie to Congress. But he told you to lie to Congress. No, he did not tell me. It was fucking amazing.
Quote, "Mr. Trump did not directly tell me to lie to Congress," said Cohen in an opening statement. "That's not how he operates." Okay, that's good. That's interesting to know.
Wink, wink.
That directly rebuts a BuzzFeed news story last month. That said Cohen had told special counsel Robert Mueller that Trump told him to lie. It's also consistent with the statement released by the special counsel's office following the BuzzFeed story, in which the office disputed that Cohen had told them Trump told them to lie. Told them to lie? Told him to lie. Yeah, but Chris, remember when that BuzzFeed story came out and you promoted it like it was God's honest truth?
Yeah.
Remember that part? I think we read that story on the air. So, number 6, Cohen said he has never been to Prague.
Yes,
one of the most debated parts of the dossier on Trump, put together by former British spy Christopher Steele, was that Cohen had traveled to Prague in the summer of 2016 to serve as a sort of liaison between Trump's campaign and the Russians. Cohen said under oath on Wednesday that he has never been to Prague or the Czech Republic. Well, that's interesting to know. If it's true, great. That means the collusion story is losing legs by the moment. Number 7, Hope Hicks called Cohen when the Access Hollywood tape broke. Oh, wasn't she the really good-looking White House advisor or assistant or something? Hope Hicks.
The name is familiar, but I don't know why.
Yeah. In October 2016, when an audio tape emerged of Trump using lewd and misogynistic language, Trump advisor and later White House communications director Hope Hicks called Cohen, who was in London visiting his daughter, to make clear that he was expected to bat down this story as nothing more than, quote, locker room talk, unquote. Well, that's how it was described by Trump himself. So
why would Cohen be involved in that?
I don't.
It wasn't a legal matter. I mean, okay.
I mean, not unless somebody came to him and asked him for comment, and then that was what he was supposed to say. I
Sure.
guess.
I mean,
But
okay.
it's like, but that was the line that Trump used himself, I think, at one of the debates.
The whole campaign was saying locker room talk. So yeah.
Okay. There's your talking point. Chris, what? Okay. Number 8, last one. Cohen never sought a presidential pardon. Quote, I have never asked for, nor would I accept a pardon from President Trump. Well, he's not going to give one to you, so don't worry. What's not clear from Cohen's statement is whether a pardon was ever offered by Trump or anyone affiliated with Trump. Now, okay, so here's the point. The point. Cohen's testimony didn't provide a single silver bullet against Trump's White House that some Democrats had hoped for, but he added detail and depth to some of the more potentially damaging allegations against Trump, most notably the alleged end run of campaign finance laws in the payments to Daniels and McDougal. Sure. But outside of that, nothing.
Not a thing.
As far as I can tell. I mean, if somebody, like I say, I didn't watch the whole testimony. This is Chris Cillizza's distillation of it, which is pretty thin in and of itself. But this was the most anticipated congressional testimony, and
well, here's the thing. We didn't learn anything.
Nope.
Nothing. Other than him getting up there and saying Trump is a racist. He's an absolute racist, because he did say that.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing from this that we hadn't already heard leaked elsewhere, from the special counsel's office who has a crackdown on leaks. We didn't learn anything. I said this maybe a week ago. As far as we know right now, the only thing they can get Trump on is campaign finance violation, which is going to be a slap on the fucking hand. It's not even going to be at him. It's going to be at his fucking campaign.
Yeah.
There's nothing to this. It's time to wrap it up and let it go. The dog and pony show, the dog and pony are dead. Let them go.
Now, moving on to more important matters.
Sure.
You guys like World War III?
Always, yeah.
Well, Pakistan says it shot down 2 Indian jets as Kashmir border crisis deepens.
So
I didn't even know there was a border crisis, or at least a new one, or an inflamed one, I should say, over in Pakistan and India right now. But apparently, that's been the case. But we've been so inundated with Jesse Smollett and everything else. Who cares, right? Pakistan says its Air Force shot down 2 Indian fighter jets over the disputed border region of Kashmir in a significant escalation of the crisis between the 2 nuclear-armed powers.
Just India. Thank you, Terry Diamandis. He's Cohen to have to do better than this. Also, my internet seems to be working now. I wanted to get that in before we got too far away from the story. Go ahead. Thank you.
India confirmed the loss of 1 plane and said it shot down a Pakistani jet as it responded to the incident. Pakistan claimed to have captured an Indian pilot and, to India's fury, published a video of him. India demanded his safe return, and there's a little portion of the video on the story. The confrontation came a day after India said it launched airstrikes in Pakistan territory in the first such incursion by Indian Air Force planes since the India-Pakistan War of 1971. And I think that was prior to them both having nuclear weapons. India and Pakistan both control parts of Kashmir, but each claims the region in full. The latest skirmishes are the most serious crisis over the disputed border area in years. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan said neither side could afford, quote, miscalculations, unquote, and that any further escalation would be beyond his and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's control. That doesn't sound good.
No.
Pakistan's chief military spokesman, Major General Asif Ghafoor, claimed 2 Indian jets were downed in Wednesday's operation. One fell inside Pakistan-controlled Kashmir, while another went down in the India-controlled region of Kashmir. Ghafoor initially claimed 2 Indian pilots were arrested and said one was being treated for injuries in a military hospital. But on Twitter later Wednesday, he said only one was in military custody. India said that it had lost only 1 aircraft, but confirmed 1 pilot was missing after the Pakistani strikes. Indian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said an Indian Air Force plane retaliated, shooting down a Pakistani jet, which fell on the Pakistan side of the border. Pakistan later released what it said was a video of the detained pilot, identifying him as Wing Commander Abdin. I'm gonna fuck this up. Abhinandan. India called the move a vulgar display and an unprovoked act of aggression that violates all norms of international humanitarian law. A foreign ministry said Pakistan should return him immediately. It was, quote, it was made clear that Pakistan would be well advised to ensure that no harm comes to the Indian defense personnel in its custody. Pakistan closed its airspace for a time on Wednesday. A number of Indian airlines announced the suspension of flights to several Indian airports. Flights later resumed. Let's see. The escalating tensions come at a politically crucial time for India, which is scheduled to hold national elections by the end of May. The immediate trigger for the latest confrontation was a suicide car bomb attack on February 14th in Indian-controlled Kashmir, which killed 40 Indian paramilitary soldiers. India blames the militant group Jaish-e-Mohammed for the attack, the deadliest on security forces since the beginning of the insurgency in the late 1980s. India has accused Pakistan of having a direct hand in the attack, the deadliest on security forces since you just said that. You literally just said that in the previous sentence. Since the 1980s. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Two nuclear-powered, well, not nuclear-powered, but nuclear weapon-laden countries that hate each other, saying, you know, if anything else happens, what'll happen next is beyond our control. That, yeah. So World War III, everybody, it's coming.
Yay!
That's not fun.
Don't worry, I've won it several times in RTS games.
And I have conquered the remains of such a thing in Fallout several times now, sort of.
See, it's all good.
And lastly, how about a guest column in The Hollywood Reporter by Ellen Page?
Oh, boy.
Oh, I've been waiting for this since you told me.
Ellen Page on Jussie Smollett fallout. Hate violence is not a hoax. All right. Now remember, this is Ellen Page writing. On December 30th, 2018, two women joined 70,000 other Seattle Seahawks fans to cheer their home team to victory. According to court documents, what transpired on that otherwise ordinary night should disgust us all. Should, okay? From the start of the game, a man seated nearby began badgering the two openly gay women. How would he know? Okay, I don't know. He taunted them in front of the crowd. He asked them if they, quote, needed a man in their lives, unquote. He called them fucking dykes. He asked them if they wanted some dick. They tried their best to ignore him and watch the game as he left to buy a beer. The relief was short-lived. He returned to his seat, walked up to one of the women, unzipped her jacket, and grabbed her breast, refusing to let go. Okay, as she struggled to free herself, he threw a beer in her face. Other fans tackled the man to the ground, but not before he punched the woman's wife in the face. He broke her tooth, blood gushing from her nose. We, as LGBTQ plus people, are forced to fear for our safety because instances of hate violence, like the violence these women experienced in Seattle, happen. They happen to us all the time. It's the fear that makes us pause before grabbing the hand of our loved one in public. It's the fear that makes us consider whether or not we are in physical danger before we lean in for a kiss on the cheek. Okay, the conversation around Jussie Smollett has led us all to examine hate violence and its implications and aftermath. No, that's not what we're examining. We're examining the media and their hair trigger reaction to a good narrative, rather than waiting for the facts to emerge. I don't know what planet you're living on, Ellen, but that's not what we've been talking about.
So does she not know?
I don't know. Well, she made declarations about the truth of it from the beginning without being critical about it. So I had no reason to doubt Jussie. That's because you're a moron.
You had every reason to doubt him if you actually listened to what he said. But since she's come out as gay, she's the gayest gay, and she believes everything any gay man or woman says.
Here's the thing. Her logic right now is this happened to somebody else at some point in time, somewhere. Therefore, I have no reason to ever doubt that it happens. If that's the case, ask her what she thinks about false rape claims and watch her say, well, just because it happened to those people doesn't mean it happens all the time. But we shouldn't have to talk about that, or you know, that still isn't as big an issue as this. But no, in this situation, it happened to somebody somewhere, so it happens to everyone everywhere.
Yeah, and as far as not having any reason to doubt, my sister and I are relatively opposites on political, social type ideas, right?
Mhm.
But even my sister, she privately told me, like, I've been staying away from this on Facebook because all my friends say, oh, this happened, this happened. I'm just kind of like, this doesn't sound right. And she thought that from the beginning. This is not a situation, this was not a story that was somehow impervious from being questioned by anybody from the beginning. So Ellen, you don't know what you're saying, or you're just a zealot. That's all, an ideologue otherwise. I know how prevalent and pernicious it can be. If this situation was staged, it could make victims even more reluctant to report these crimes, very real crimes. Now, that part I'll agree with. That part, and that's part of the deal. And it's also the media's fault for going all nuts about this and having to retract it too, because anybody looking at this situation, yeah, you're right. They might be afraid of actually trying to speak up on the chance that they might be seen as a liar, thanks to Jesse Smollett.
Now, I want to talk about that for just a second, because we keep hearing this. We've heard this several times. I've never heard that as a problem in race crime issues. It's not the same as like rape when it turns out, you know, it's a literal he said, she said. So, you know, going forward with it there's too much doubt. When you actually do come in with bruises on your face, or blood on your lip, or God forbid, a noose around your fucking neck, that, I mean, you have evidence in those cases. So I understand what people are saying when they say, okay, maybe it'll make people a little more hesitant to come forward. But I don't understand why, because this isn't rape. This isn't a false rape allegation, where it literally is a lot of times just my word versus yours, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's so my only counterpoint would be something as high profile as this. You don't want to say, you like this, just hand wave it off, because if things like this continue to happen and they aren't shot down as this is not something you're going to be rewarded for doing if you're caught, if it becomes more of a pattern, then it could become harder for people to feel like they're going to come out, and not necessarily with the authorities. And like in Chicago, like they said, they investigated this with as much extensive resources as any other case like it. But we're not just talking about the authorities believing you anymore. Now we've got the gigantic social media court of public opinion. And, you know, if somebody comes out with a real claim, and they're already, let's say, you know, very legitimately cagey about exposing themselves to, you know, reaction from the world. You know, maybe they don't want to look at, maybe risk being called a liar or a Jesse Smollett or something else later on down the line. So I can see the argument. I can also see how it might be an overblown argument. But anyway, let me see if I can find something that's worthwhile here. She goes on for quite a bit. My work in advocacy. No, hatred towards otherized people.
Otherized.
Hatred towards otherized people is institutionalized here and across the globe.
The fuck?
And reinforced by political rhetoric. Okay, well, I will grant you that there are countries in this world, aside from America, far worse when it comes to the treatment of people that go outside this center, you know, norm or whatever. Not going to lie you there, but Ellen, this was a hoax. People aren't saying that people aren't attacked or that racism doesn't exist. They're saying that jumping to conclusions helps no one. You've already admitted that. So why are you focusing on, as though because Jesse lied, all of us disbelieve every possible story? That's not the lesson here.
Well, that's the only narrative that they can push, is they're like, you know, the fact that he lied is giving those people ammunition. You know what I mean? And they'll never believe us anyway, but now it's going to be worse because even more people are going to question it.
The rest of this article I'm summarizing is some basically like basic things like no one deserves to be victimized because of who they are, etc.
I am so disappointed though.
Yeah.
Where's her apology to Mike Pence?
Oh, there's no apology in here at all.
Anything
about anything.
She blamed Mike Pence for this.
Yeah.
Mike Pence allows this to happen.
Yeah. No, there's she doesn't even mention the only mention of the Colbert thing or the Colbert interview is a picture and a caption that I have to assume the Hollywood Reporter inserted. But in her text, she never brings up Mike Pence, and there's never anything that I see that could even be considered an apology. It's just her mentioning Jussie in the first few paragraphs and then moving on to talk about statistics about violence against LGBTQ+.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Super convenient.
Fuck her. Fuck her. Look, you crazy bitch.
It's so funny though because she's like, I'm here to address the Jussie Smollett situation, and the Jussie Smollett situation is the fact that he lied. But the entire article was about how people don't lie about these things.
You know what? It's what we've said pretty much from the beginning of this. The answer was going to be, but it still happens.
Yeah.
That is now the Smollett defense. It still happens.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's very easy when you can just erase him from the equation. Just be like, well, as far as I'm concerned, from this moment on, he just doesn't exist. Like, we can still have the conversation about it happening, and we can still definitively say that it is 100% true every time a person makes the claim, because Jussie doesn't exist anymore. He's not a real person. He's gone now.
Oh. And speaking of which, so that was sort of the companion piece to the main article in the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh,
I'm not going to read that. I'm not going to read that article because that's going to take a while. But I'll read the little blurbs that promote it. The first one is, and this is one I commented on Twitter: Jussie Smollett and the pressure of Hollywood fame. Okay, and then on the cover of Hollywood Reporter, it says "Hollywood hoax?" ? Jussie Smollett says he's the victim of a heinous hate crime, but career pressure and addictive fame may have driven the Empire star to do, quote, something desperate, unquote. He's still a victim. He's still
a victim.
Yeah, it's outside external forces pushing him to have done this. It's not his own doing. He's still a victim because Hollywood made me do it.
Hollywood, yeah. I mean, if there's one place that it is horrible to be black and gay, it's Hollywood. I mean, if you think the foothills of Alabama might be a bad place, no. It's rough in Hollywood.
Anyway, that's all.
Are you fucking kidding me? Eat me. Okay, guys, we're a little bit past, but I was really hoping that twat would actually address the bullshit she said.
I was too.
So this brings us to MSS News time. If there's a story you'd like us to read on the air, hit us up at the hashtag MSS News over on the Twitter machine. I almost forgot that line. We can't get to them all because you guys are so generous in your sharing that we get so many, but we'll do as best we can. Scribbles.
Remember the funniest line from the Mad Lib last night?
Mm-hmm.
I think there were several funniest lines.
All right, well, the one that I kept breaking on was whisper ugly nothings into your ball sack.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Well, in a related story, this one comes from Massive Dynamics.
There's a related story to whisper sweet nothings into your ugly ball sack.
Tennessee man accused of dipping testicles in a customer's salsa.
How does one even...
He teabagged the salsa?
A Tennessee man is accused of dipping something other than chips into a customer's salsa. Howard Webb, 31, was with a driver for Dinner Delivered, a food delivery service, on January 12th when he allegedly put his testicles in an order of salsa that a customer had ordered from a Mexican restaurant. Webb, in a video published by the news station, is seen seemingly putting his testicles in a cup of salsa. Someone else in the vehicle, identified as the delivery driver, is heard giggling and saying, quote, This is what you get when you give an 89-cent tip for an almost 30-minute drive, unquote. Quote, oh, it feels good on my balls, Webb replies. Dinner Delivered addressed the video on Facebook, writing that the driver Webb was with was a, quote, rogue independent contractor. They reported the driver to law enforcement. So there you
go. Okay. How did the video get available?
I don't know.
Did one of these two idiots uploaded it?
Well, the only vantage point it could come from is the driver filming it.
And the driver's one. Okay, I'm confused. Which one stuck their balls in it?
So the delivery driver, the person actually working for the company, had this guy with them as a passenger or a friend or something. And apparently complained that an 89-cent tip for their 30-minute drive wasn't enough. So this guy, in revenge, dipped his balls in the salsa before the driver delivered it to the customer.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So either way, these two were in on it, and one of them had to have uploaded this video.
Yes.
Good job, dumbasses. By the way, fuck, you don't fuck with people's food.
No. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. North Carolina girl chosen as Gerber's adorable new spokesbaby. Aww.
Oh.
Gerber announced a new adorable addition to their family, and she's from right here in North Carolina. Baby Carrie from Hickory was chosen as the winner of the company's 9th annual photo search and will be this year's spokesbaby. She competed against a record-breaking 544,000 entries on Instagram. The company made the announcement on their website Tuesday. Quote, as soon as we saw her photo, we fell in love with Carrie's expressive eyes and angelic face, looking toward the future and being excited for all that it holds.
Is there a picture of this baby?
There's several.
Okay.
I mean, that's the whole point. I don't know what to tell you, Monkey. That's kind of that's the joke. Here, I'll put the link in the chat for people. She's a fine-looking baby. I don't know if she's like the cutest thing I've ever seen, but
baby looks like an alien.
All babies look like aliens.
My children and grandchildren don't. They're cute as fuck.
They have giant heads and veins, and they're all like lolling around. All babies.
That second one down, it's like it's got no eyes. It's staring into my soul. That's an evil baby.
I mean, the first picture is, one of those things you'd probably frame for grandma and grandpa, but I don't. Is somebody having cocaine?
I'm hissing at the baby.
This baby better be lucky as Asian, because if it was a white baby, oh boy, the headlines.
Oh, is it?
It looks like an Asian baby to me.
Yes, that's an Asian baby. Are you kidding?
I don't know. I can't tell. I'm half Asian.
Maybe
I'm blind to Asians. I don't know. Let's see. Next one comes from Frosted Glass. I'm trying to decide which one to go with because we were sent like 5. Okay, I'll go with this one. Maryland Democrat under fire for N-word district remark.
Oh, I saw that.
I'm sure everyone has used it. Uh-oh. A Maryland Democrat is under fire for using a racial slur to refer to a predominantly African-American county in her state. Maryland delegate Mary Ann Lisanti is under scrutiny after a report came out that she had disparagingly dubbed Prince George County as a N-word district regarding what it's like to campaign there. The remark was apparently made at an Annapolis cigar bar to a white colleague who had campaigned door-to-door in Prince George's County last year on behalf of another candidate. Lasante has since tried to make amends with the African-American community. Quote, she apologized several times. She recognizes how she has hurt so many within the caucus, and she hoped to repent from this. She said that she doesn't remember fully what happened, because she was probably drinking, but she recognizes what happened.
How do Democrats keep stepping on their dicks like this?
It's so amazing, man. It is unbelievable how fucking good the morally superior are at being morally inferior.
You just fuck.
They are so good at it.
You need to make a how not to be racist book and send it out to all of these guys. By the way, white lady, if you want to apologize, I can tell you how.
Yeah, don't use blackface. Don't try to racialize a good argument. What's his name in Virginia? Don't use the N-word when describing your constituency. Anyway, this one comes from Functional.
Oh my God, she went to my son's college.
Oh, there you go. Good pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
Ontario, I'm assuming it's Ontario. Ontario police find 180 kilograms of meth smuggled into Canada through new Ford cars built in Mexico.
Who didn't see that one coming?
A notorious Mexican cartel stashed bricks of methamphetamine in the spare tires of new cars before sending the vehicles to Canada by rail in a sprawling drug smuggling operation. Ontario Provincial Police said they found 180 kilograms of meth during their investigation, which began when employees at 4 different Ford dealerships reported suspicious bags inside tires that were in the trunks of new Fusion cars. Police said the cars were built at Ford's assembly plant in Hermosillo, Mexico, before being put on northbound trains. Quote, the powerful Sinaloa cartel is well entrenched in that area of Mexico, said OPP Superintendent Brian McCollop. We are very certain that they are ultimately responsible for these drugs. Yeah, so there you go. That's 180 kilograms. That's a lot of meth. That's also kind of a sloppy way of trying to smuggle it, especially if they have to go through car dealerships and stuff. Who are they expecting to pick up those cars?
That's a good question. Is there a processing center they go through?
I don't know.
I get the feeling this ain't their first time.
No, probably not. Let's see. James Colley. We talked about that one yesterday. The lady who is going to be deported after knocking the guy's hat off.
Oh, yeah.
This one comes from James Brown. German firefighters work to free rotund rat stuck in manhole cover.
Step on it.
Okay. Sometimes the lowly sewer rat is the target of shrieks, kicks, and extermination attempts. And sometimes yesterday's vermin becomes today's vaunted victim, inspiring a phalanx of rescuers to come to its aid. At least that is what happened over the weekend in Germany, where a firefighter come corpulent critter rescue crew worked to free the animal in a pinch with a manhole cover. An employee with the animal rescue group Rhein-Neckar, remember this is Germany, had tried and failed to save the rat in the town of Bensheim on Sunday, the Auerbach Volunteer Fire Department said in a statement. Realizing reinforcements were needed, firefighters were called in. No matter that they were responding to a small animal rescue call, they arrived aboard their fire truck armed with equipment and decked out in full gear. Operation Rat Disgorgement was underway. At least 8 firefighters encircled the manhole, taking in the animal's pitiful plight. The rat was secured with a loop at the end of a pole. Then the crew propped up the cover, held aloft with wedges. The suspended rodent wriggled as the firefighters worked a glove underneath in an effort to gently pop it out. It took some maneuvering, but finally the rat was released.
We're talking about a rat.
Yes, and now it'll probably end up in some vet or something in someone's aquarium.
When the new plague starts, remember this, Germany did it.
Well, you could say that about a lot of things.
Well, that's true too. I mean, the EU, for instance, but it's a goddamn rat.
Let's see. This one comes from Necrosol. Another Make America Great Again hat story. Teenager arrested for throwing 81-year-old Trump supporter to the ground over his MAGA hat.
Of course.
Can we play back the statement that I made earlier?
Yeah.
About the morally superior.
New Jersey law enforcement arrested 19-year-old Ryan M. Salvano Wednesday for assaulting an 81-year-old man in a supermarket Monday over his MAGA hat. According to Somerset prosecutors, the elderly Franklin Township resident was at a ShopRite on Elizabeth Avenue Monday afternoon when Ryan Salvango confronted him about his mega hat. Quote, as the victim turned to walk away, defendant Salvango was able to grab the victim's hat and the two struggled for sole possession of the hat, the prosecutor said. Salvango then took the victim by the arm and threw him to the ground, tipping over the victim's cart of groceries and ultimately throwing the hat to the side. Salvango was charged with disorderly persons offenses of assault and harassment. New Jersey has some weirdly named laws. Let's see. So yeah, good on you throwing an 81-year-old man to the ground. Good job.
Well, even before that, trying to steal from an 81-year-old man.
Yeah. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. If it'll come up. There we go. Teacher, 27, had sex with boy, 13. Had sex? How about raped?
Raped. That's the right word.
Teacher, 27, this is the Daily Mail, had sex with boy, 13, in front of another student in her classroom, and they touched each other while other kids were watching videos as their X-rated text messages are revealed. Does this make it on?
Job.
I wonder, is this going to make it on Pornhub at some point? Because that would be a crime. You filmed it? Really?
I know her.
Brittany Zamora is in jail on $250,000 bond for having sex, quote unquote, with the boy last year. She allegedly slept with him 4 times in her car and in her school classroom. Their affair began over text and quickly progressed to sexual contact. She exchanged explicit messages with him, telling him she would quit her job to have sex with him, quote, all day long, unquote, if she could. Zamora, who is married, sent the boy nudes and photos of herself in lingerie. On one occasion, they touched each other sexually while other kids were watching a video in class. Oh, I see. Okay, watching a video. I thought they were watching a video of them having sex. That's my confusion.
That's why I remember her, because she's the one. Yeah, she's married, and this is the one. Like, how do you come back from that? Your wife was banging a 13-year-old.
Yeah, this isn't a news story. She's just being.
Yeah. This is an update to it, basically.
Right. Okay.
Good. Go to jail, you rapey bitch.
When are we gonna start the hashtag teach women not to rape?
I've started that, and I get shit for it every time I repost it.
Oh, and there's a picture of her and her husband near the bottom of the article. It's showing like when she got engaged. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Dude, he got her a big ring too.
There are pictures of when she touched the kid? What? Wait a second. This is the moment the Arizona 6th grade teacher, Brittany Zamora, 20, accused. Oh, no, it's video of her being arrested. Sorry. I thought it was saying this is the moment when she touched the kid or something. Like, what? Okay. Anyway, moving on. Who's next?
Oh, wait. Zamora's husband defended her to detectives, saying, Brittany is an adult. She's the best person I've ever known. I bet that kid thinks so, too.
Mm-hmm. You're the best around.
That's what that kid said about your wife, dude.
Let's see. This comes from Pincalo, the Driving Ape Man. Another Canada story. We're going back to Canada as soon as the story pops up, because it seems it's coming all the way from Canada, so it takes a while. All-female gang taunted cops to do ya job. Okay. They fought the law, and the law won. A trio of women who called themselves the Felony Lane Gang, a little bit on the nose, taunted and dared cops to catch them during their interstate crime spree. On social media, they teased officers to, quote, do ya job, unquote. And on Sunday, they did just that. Indiana State Police arrested Amber Dunlop, 27, Tiffany. Oh my, okay. Can you imagine how Tiffany is spelled in this instance?
Oh, dear God, these days. QLBRZ.
Now, okay. So Take how you would end Stephanie, but put a T-I at the front. Tiffany. Tiphanie. Tiffany.
Wow.
Okay.
I've never seen it like that before. Tiffany Sager, 26, and Tony Huzar, 23, after an officer spotted a vehicle going at, quote, an excessive speed. The trio allegedly made a run for it until they were stopped a short time later. The Girl Power Gang had a slew of warrants out for them for a series of thefts in Georgia and northern Florida. Their alleged break-ins occurred in parks, gyms, and other locations where people leave their belongings. They're accused of using rental cars in the heists. Quote, they might be taunting us with what they're posting on social media. They might be taunting us with what they're posting on social media, the officer Justin Stott told Fox 5. With all the active warrants we've got on them through all these different jurisdictions, it's just a matter of time before we get them. And apparently we got them. Yeah. So they've been extradited back to Georgia to face charges. Good job, guys. Winner. You're winner.
Well done.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. How many more do you want me to do, Monkey?
Let's do one more. Let's take it to the top of the hour here.
Okay. This one comes from Sarah. 2 arrested after fighting over crab legs at buffet using tongs like swords.
Dear Christ.
What is with all the food fighting lately? I throw a cookie at your head. I fight you for crab legs. Dip my balls in your salsa. Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama police say a dispute over crab legs at a dinner buffet ended in a brawl that left 2 people facing misdemeanor charges. Huntsville police officer Gerald Johnson says he was eating at the Meteor Buffet restaurant when a fight broke out. Johnson tells WHNT-TV that diners were using service tongs like fencing swords and plates were shattering and a woman was beating a man.
Wow.
Over crab's legs. Johnson says diners had been waiting in line for crab legs for more than 10 minutes and they lost their tempers once the food came out.
All right. They couldn't wait?
Is this, when I think of a buffet, honestly, I think of like elderly people. I know that's not really necessarily the case, but
right.
They don't say the age of these people, so I'm really curious to know if they happen to be like just really cranky old people. Anyway, that's the story. Not much else.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, then. Beating somebody up because of crab legs. Did they only bring out like 3 or something?
I don't know.
I know the story didn't say. I'm trying to guess here on what would make them decide that's a good time to start.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
Well, okay.
It's the pressure from Hollywood.
Oh.
It.
Oh. Had to be a Chinese buffet and a couple of heifers. P-Dog.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for the submissions. And with that, we're going to move on to the YouTube's time. And Satsu, as usual, we're going to have you go first. What's up? What'd you do today?
Nothing.
Okay. Scribbles, you?
I started work on the Robin DiAngelo video.
Mm-hmm.
Where she tells us about all the myths that white people tell themselves or whatever. And the very first thing that you go ahead.
No, I was just, that's the white fragility chick, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So the very first thing that she says is, let me quote it. I will give you a spoiler here and quote it because it's just, before she says anything else, this is her first statement. To be white is to be raised functionally illiterate on the topic of race.
Oh, fuck.
And,
she was.
And you know what the very next thing she says after that is? So I'm white. I'm going after she says that I'm going to have dramatic squirrel make an appearance. And then I say, so this means you're functionally illiterate on the topic of race, which means your entire career is based on a lie. Or
fraud.
Or did you not actually mean what you said 3 seconds ago?
Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. Please tell me it involved swinging on a chandelier.
Oh, the crab leg fight. That'd be great.
That would be great.
Anyway, that's what I worked on today, and I've continued writing my video game sequel idea essay for a video that I may or may not do. I'm and this just a tangent for a second. This brings me to one of those things we've talked about before. If I did, just hypothetically speaking, if I suddenly broke out and did a video game essay video, would that be so far afield from my regular content that it would basically like poison pill my channel?
Not necessarily.
I mean, it's probably just going to be a one-off, sort of like that live stream I did about the Chris Watts case and everything else. But I started thinking about that lately. Is like doing Familiar with the Matter. Is that too far off my usual stuff? Doing something like this? Am I getting too experimental? I guess is my my concern for myself.
All you gotta do is try it and see how it works. Oh, but your audience will forgive a one-off that they don't like.
That's true.
Real quick, Michael says, Scribe, do you want a paper by Robin DiAngelo? I was sent one by my university.
Sure. If you'd like to send it. I don't know if I'll do anything with it, depending on what it is, but I'm always interested in how people's minds work, especially when they are A, self-defeatist, and B, inherently self-contradictory. And they have PhDs and write books and get accolades and make careers on speaking fees and such. So if you need my email address, it's just scribelight, all one word, 3, the number 3 @gmail.com.
Ansel Ford says they had a loss in the family last Thursday. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no.
Does that wrap you up there, Scribe?
Yes, that's all I had going in.
Did anybody else watch Alex Jones on Joe Rogan today?
Just the clips people have been posting. It's like, okay, guys, let me be honest for a second. I'm kind of retarded.
Oh my God, when he said that, that was the first thing that everybody in the studio, they are so going to clip that.
Oh my God. And Joe Rogan lost it.
He did. I felt a little kinship with Joe Rogan because last night on Monkey in the Morning.
Last night on Monkey in
the Morning. Let it happen.
Let
it happen. We invited a guest on. Jesus was on with us. And I now have the Jesus rule. Lots of people ask if they can come on the show. And I always tell them that, especially if it's somebody I'm not familiar with, like how they stream and such, I don't bring them onto this show. I'll likely have them over on Monkey in the Morning, just to kind of a less formalized setting,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus was drunk off his ass, which I didn't find out until after he was on the show.
Uh-oh.
And there's several moments in the Joe Rogan podcast today where I had flashbacks. Horrible flashbacks. Jesus is a good guy. He was just drunk. And guys, don't go into people's shows drunk without telling them you're drunk. Because yes, that was his deal, Vortex. He told us that on the show last night. But the new rule is if I bring somebody new on, it's going to be for a little while. And I reserve the right to kick your ass off at any moment, just for the fun of it. But yeah, as I was watching the Joe Rogan thing today, I was like, that hurts. I remember that from last night. Because drunk people like to talk a lot.
Do you think Alex Jones was drunk?
What's that?
You think Alex Jones was drunk?
No, Alex was high. They didn't call it high. He was having tobacco cigarettes. Yeah. Typically the people who smoke tobacco cigarettes bring their own. So yeah, he was quite high, and I forget the name of the other guy that they had on there. I've seen him on Rogan's show before. See, I'm merging into fucketry time. both of them, they would go on these tangents where you swear they were two old drunks at the end of a night of drinking. No. Let me tell you. No. Listen. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Hang on, just a second. Let me tell you. And then they would just start going off on some tangent before Eddie Bravo. Thank you. No. Hang on. Let me tell you. It's like, oh my God, you guys. And Joe was liking it, and I'm sure the audience liked it, but it was kind of hard to watch if you were actually trying to enjoy anything.
I can't watch shit like that, man.
Yeah, it just sounded like a couple of old drunks talking around the end of a bar near closing time, where both have something they want the other one to understand that they feel them on. They kept saying, "I love you." It's like, oh my God, if he says "I love you," man, I'm just gonna barf. But Joe had Alex back on because they had some kind of little beef go on, but it's all better now, y'all, because they understand each other. And I imagine after the show they went out and ate a whole bunch of cookies. And that is the extent of my fucketry today. Do you guys have any?
No, not me. I like still the internet at my work is not unlocked yet. It might be by the time I get to work tomorrow. So if you see tweets from me early in the morning tomorrow, then I'm back into the swing of things. Otherwise, nope.
Satsu, did you see some fucketry today?
Not really. Most of the stuff I commented on were good things. Like the Nintendo Direct, I was commenting a little bit on and talking to some people over on Facebook about some of the only reveal that I actually watched, which was the new Pokemon game or whatever, and that was really it. There wasn't a lot of drama going on. People being stupid for people being stupid's sake. And that was pretty much it.
Fuck Your Fifis was kind enough to tag Zuby Music last night. He's the guy I was telling you about who did the deadlift of the world record. And I want to put that video in here because, guys, I forgot his name because you guys know how I am with fucking names. And that's how bad I am with names. I forgot the name Zuby. It's literally 4 fucking letters.
Zooby-dooby-doo.
But yeah, if you want to see him shattering the women's world record deadlift, he also went on today and did a couple more. He did the bench press, and I forgot the other one he was going to do. I didn't see the other one, but I watched him do the bench press. It was fucking funny. You know,
he
and
also offered to come on the show.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We might have to have him on sometime. I hope he listens to the show first.
Yeah, exactly.
You might want to know what you're getting into. But yeah, thank you for tagging him in that, because I'd completely forgotten his name and it would have taken me days because I didn't comment on it. So if I don't comment on things, it's very hard for me to find them again, which is not a good thing. Everything else I saw today, and I guess this is kind of a deep topic.
Oh,
going back to Cohen.
Okay.
Now, he's already been convicted. Well, he pled guilty, didn't he?
Yes, he pled guilty to lying to Congress, I believe.
Not necessarily pled or found guilty, but admitted guilt to lying to Congress previously. And both sides today, when they heard something they liked, ran to Twitter to talk about it. Like, okay, you can't say he's a liar in one instance and then be happy that he backed you up in another.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way. It makes you look like an ass. And the one that really made it jump out to me, thank you, Chuckles, for the donation with no message. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Was right after Cohen said that he'd never been to Prague. There was a whole bunch. My fucking Twitter just lit up like a Christmas tree, and there were dueling tweets of, "See, we told you the dossier wasn't real," and this was by people who had just been saying, you can't trust Cohen. Guys, look, yes, you can choose to believe whether or not you believe. And I got to be honest, I believe Cohen. I believe at least Cohen thinks he was telling the truth. He's got no reason to lie right now. He's already fucked. Unless
book deal.
Well, maybe book deal. I mean, like with the president is racist stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's salacious. Might get him a book deal for that. But that's unimportant in the grand scheme of things. One guy saying that the president didn't like black. What was it he said? I forget about him being racist, but this is his ex-lawyer saying he was racist. I don't care. I really don't. Show me that he's treated people wrong. Okay, then we might be able to talk. But that's still not what Cohen was there for. This whole thing is supposed to be about Russia. And
no, Cohen was there to allow Democrats the opportunity to try to bolster their justification for hatred against Trump and get some sound bites in for 2020. I mean, like you said, they were willing to accept the testimony of someone they would otherwise be calling a liar to try to back up their agenda. You've got somebody who, by all rights, and is not a credible source. In any court of law, this person would be immediately and successfully impeached by any competent opposing counsel if he was brought up as a witness for anything. And this is the lengths that people are willing to go just to dog and pony show themselves to try and prove a point, I guess, politically. And this is not I don't understand how this is a good look for, regardless of what your party is. How is that a good look? That you're putting somebody up there like this is the most anticipated testimony ever of a proven liar, of someone who has manipulated people, intimidated people, paid people off by his own admission, et cetera, et cetera. This is the quality of evidence that you want to put up there to, I don't know, justify your political animosity. What are you doing to yourselves?
Especially when he undermines your greatest things. Like, did Trump tell you to lie to us? No. But Trump told you to lie to us? No. Trump didn't. He's not a good witness because he is a admitted liar. He's admitted to lying before for personal gain. I don't understand people who can look at him and just blindly take his testimony either way. Now, somebody said that he could lie to get his sentence reduced. His sentence has already been established, I thought he was going away for 3 years.
Yeah, he's going to be he's headed off to jail pretty soon. He's locked in. I mean, whatever, he might get time off for good behavior or something, but that's already done and done. And that's what made his little like I didn't actually lie, my testimony was altered thing kind of weird today. It's like I mean, I guess you can keep claiming that until the end of time, but you already pled guilty. So if you knew that was the case, if you had evidence to that effect, why did you plead guilty?
Yeah, and to me, to your point, I mean, I get it that the Democrats were using this as a show. I mean, I was watching it on, what YouTube channel was it? It was the Washington Post YouTube channel.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and their commentary, because they broke for an hour-ish to go vote. I don't know what the House was voting on today, but they went and voted on some shit. And while the House was voting, they kept going and talking to different representatives. And you know who everybody wanted to talk to?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Wow, you're like psychic.
I know, right? I watch ESPN.
She's not even on the fucking committee. She's not on the committee that was questioning here.
Well, she asked him questions, didn't she?
Did she?
Yeah, because there's video of her interviewing Cohen. I watched it.
Oh, I didn't think she was on the Judiciary Committee. She was on the Finance Committee.
This wasn't the Judiciary Committee.
What committee was this?
Well, I read the story. I've forgotten it now, but I know
Jesus fuck, I don't care.
It was the House Oversight Committee, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know she got to. This was before she ever got to ask. They weren't talking about waiting to see her question him. No. They all wanted the reporters wanted to talk to her.
Hmm.
I'm like, why? She's an idiot. And God, I get it, but I don't. I mean, she wants Trump's tax records. A lot of them do. That was part of what was supposed to come out of this today. Cohen was supposed to provide financial documents from between 2011 and I want to say 2013 that Congress is going to try to use to get Trump's tax records.
Right.
Which is dirty pool. I mean, they're just pissed off he won't give them to them, and they've been threatening that anyway. She was asking questions about Trump's taxes today. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I didn't know she got to ask. I told you guys early. I stopped watching so I could go watch Alex Jones.
Important stuff.
Because I told you guys the other day, I'm burned out on this shit. They need to have something real, and maybe that's what Chris Cillizza meant when he said most anticipated ever. Is everybody's like, please, something happen in this case that's worth a fuck.
Maybe.
Because otherwise I don't get his well, he works for CNN, so maybe in their world, like, we finally got him, so it was anticipated for them. But he can't tell me that the Kavanaugh one wasn't more.
Maybe he was like
wanted.
It would have I don't know, redeemed CNN for the whole BuzzFeed nonsense somehow.
It could be, although their stuff got burned down today too, a couple of times. Peter says he isn't obligated to show his tax records. Is he, Monkey? No, he's not.
Nope.
But
Law.
There is a way that I think it's a finance committee. It's not Ways and Means.
Mm-hmm.
There's a committee that can ask for it.
Right.
And they don't necessarily have to have cause to ask for it. It just looks better if they have cause to ask for it, because they can request the tax records of any American. And the president is an American, so he's not above that. But they're not supposed to share it. So the Democrats are trying desperately to find a way to justify sharing his tax records, because for them it is a holy grail. Was it New Jersey just passed a law that in order to run on a federal ballot there, you have to, is it the federal ballot or just the president? I can't remember which. I think it's just the presidency. You have to share your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is bullshit. They didn't make that same rule for their own leadership. The governor of the state doesn't have to do it, but the president needs to. Because, if we see how much money Donald Trump made and how much he claimed in deductions and how much charitable giving he did, then something. Then it's okay to beat up old men over MAGA hats.
I found something interesting.
What you got?
This chick is she's a sex educator, I think.
Oh boy.
Sex coach.
Yeah.
Menstrual blood all over her face to show that periods are beautiful and powerful.
Oh.
And it literally looks like she just killed somebody and just like bathed in their blood.
You know what? I cannot stand red face.
So you don't like Elizabeth Warren?
Oh. Oh.
She looks like a psychotic grown-up version of the younger sister from Full House. Not.
Wow, that is a mental journey you just put me on there.
I need feminists to make up my mind for me.
Oh, that's easy enough.
Because on the one hand, we've heard that women need an extra day off or two a month paid because of periods.
Yes.
And then elsewhere, we've heard about how beautiful and empowering they are. Is it they just get so empowered they need 2 days off to rev up like a Super Saiyan?
Well, it says she had her first period at 12 and was ashamed by it. So I'm like, what did your parents tell you when you got your period? Like, what happened when you were like, okay, mom and dad, some weird shit is going on. I need to know what's up. It's like, well, what's the problem, sweetie? I'm like bleeding down there, like, oh, fucking disgust! What the fuck? Get out of here with that shit! Go take a shower, you nasty bitch!
You stank.
Like, what reason would you possibly be ashamed of it as a child? You know what I mean? As a person that young, I can't think of any reason.
Maybe she had some sort of like mommy dearest type mom, and that was just like made her feel disgusting for it or something. I don't know.
Well, it might not even. I'm sorry, it might not even been that. It could have just been that she hadn't talked with her mom or anything about it. And so,
there you go.
Hi, Mama Satsu. Nice to see you. Hope you're well, sweetie.
Yeah. How's the Switch fund?
It's still where it was. Okay. Yeah, and it's probably gonna stay that way until it's my night to stream. Hi, Mom. Oh, she said Carrie.
Carrie, yeah.
I don't think that was the same, Mom. I think that was a little bit different. Y'all want to see the picture? It's pretty tasty.
Gross.
Oh God. Yeah, sure. You gonna share it or you gonna send it to me and I'll share it? Either way, it's fine.
Oh, here, because I got it up on my phone, not on my so I'll send it to you.
Tweet that bitch to me.
Okay, yeah, I'll retweet it with your evil monkey in it.
Do you guys remember the Olympics?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Yeah, which one? I mean,
the last Summer Olympics.
Nope.
Oh, I only remember curling.
There was a Chinese swimmer.
Okay.
Who swam and I think she won a medal on her period.
Oh yeah, and everybody was talking about how amazing she was because
it was amazing.
How powerful a statement it is that a woman would be able to do such a thing on her period.
And I'm just like,
it's a good thing she wasn't in the ocean. What were you saying?
I was about to say, what did all those other women think? Just
no shit. Chlorinate the pool. And it was so empowering. And one of the articles we read about it said that it's nothing to be ashamed. It's something women deal with all the time. Like, yes, that's the right answer. Stop talking about it.
Yeah, we know this. We know it's nothing to be ashamed of. You just keep telling us that we think you should be ashamed for it. It's like, you think we're disgusting for it. It's like, nope, I don't. I don't at all, but clearly you do.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
I'm going to share the picture.
Yeah. It's nasty.
Here's Blood Moon. Let me get that. There it is. Look how pretty.
I like
her face must stink.
Oh, dude.
It unclogs my pores, y'all. Why? Women in the chat, press 1 if you would do this, and 2 if no fucking way you put your own period blood all over your face.
The why is simple. Attention.
Oh man, in the picture, she actually draped it across her or down her chest too, and there's blobs of blood down her chest.
Oh. Squishy just asked me.
Let me see if I can share this story.
She just asked me, do deaf people masturbate with one hand so they can moan with the other?
Yes.
Monkey says yes. Scribes laughs.
Yeah, periods aren't empowering. Stop it.
They're just stuff that happens. Can we we need to start a post about how liberating taking a shit is.
Well, that's always been my answer. Is shitting is natural too, perfectly natural. It's still fucking gross. You can stop sharing now or showing now, monkey. I did. You shouldn't be seeing it. If it might be locked on my face, but that's not me. That's YouTube. They do that sometimes if you share. So let me present Scribe to everyone. There you go.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? It's me.
There
You
you
can see
go.
my picture. Yeah.
Stop presenting, see if it'll go back to normal. Yeah, YouTube's been doing that lately. I don't know why.
Also, there's a picture of Lena Dunham in lingerie.
Oh,
When what?
And she's
lingerie.
wearing that lingerie, looking
Why?
I'm trying to find a word that describes what I'm looking at.
Whispering ugly nothings into my ball sack.
Well, she said, I weigh the most that I've ever weighed. I love the most than I've ever loved. I feel better than I've ever felt before in my life. And it's just like, well, that's nice.
Who are you trying to convince, Lena?
The internet.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
see.
She rocking that lingerie. Looking. I can't find a descriptive word.
Is this from the People article?
Nah, this is from. Oh, this is Breitbart. Okay, yeah, this is a Breitbart article.
Oh, let me see. Okay, she posted. Oh wow. Yeah. You guys got to see this. It's beautiful.
Is it really?
It is. Look at her. Look at that. That is just
Like, why is she covering her mouth though?
because her hands are too small to cover everything that needs covered. Okay, press 1 if the last picture was bad, or 2 if you think this one's the bad one. Which one is the bad picture?
I'll take this one over the bad one. I'm sorry. I mean, over the last one.
What is it with misshapen people posting naked pictures of themselves on Instagram?
Because they absolutely do not want attention. That's the number one thing for sure. They 100% are not doing it for attention. That's what we know as fact. What the correct reason is, I don't know.
Some of y'all are being mean to Lena. She is, I mean, she's not the most attractive girl in the world, but come on, Bloodface is worse.
Yeah, I mean, look, she looks like what an average woman probably looks about.
She looks like a Midwest Walmart shopper. Let's be real.
You know what I really hate though? I hate when chicks pull their panties up that high. You see how they're not on her waist. They're like hugging her fucking. They're almost like up to her titties. I'm just like, why? Why are they up? Why are they up so high? Because I think she's trying to cover her gut. Like that's what she's trying to do.
Her belly is cold.
But I'm like, if you're proud of your gut, your belly, or whatever, then pull that shit down and look. Your vagina will thank you.
maybe being pulled so high is making her vagina thank her. Maybe it's rubbing that nub a little bit. You know what I mean?
Let's move on, shall
we? Jack says, why don't you ever ask about happy hypotheticals instead of ones that make me sad? You know, Jack, that's an excellent segue. Guys, it is your time. Questions, comments, concerns, throw them into the chat now. We will discuss them. And you should have several concerns after what we've just seen.
What I don't understand too is like a lot of people will like see us in this clip, like talking about this, like, oh, you guys are, it's not your right to talk. I'm like, she literally put this on the internet. Like she wants people to see it and talk about it. So, I mean.
No, anytime somebody says that about, don't judge. Look, if you're doing it in public, I'm human. I will judge. There ain't a human alive who doesn't judge. All you do is suppress your urge to judge. Stop it. Where are we at? Do you think Brie Larson is hot? I think she's cute. She's got no ass though.
She's average. She's not like, oh my god, she's so hot. She just she's standard. If
your buddy came over to your house and introduced her as a new girlfriend, you wouldn't go, Dude, what the fuck? She's so ugly. Stop it.
Right.
Who?
Huh?
If I didn't know anything about her attitude or anything else, I might actually have a slightly better opinion. But as it is, she just looks, as far as like celebrities go or Hollywood actresses go, she looks relatively plain. If you hadn't told me before she got the Captain Marvel thing that she was a movie star or something, I wouldn't have been able to discern her from half a dozen other actresses.
Yeah, she just looks like a standard soccer mom to me.
Yeah.
You know, she don't look like if you just show me a random picture of her, I wouldn't think she was a celebrity like right off the bat, unless she was like on the runway, or a red carpet.
It also says Trump is not lying. His wife is hotter than Stormy Daniels. Would he do a lower cheating? Of course he would.
Of course.
He did. Why doesn't Ellen Page criticize Islam? She probably doesn't want to get blown up.
Or she probably sympathizes in some weird way, in that backwards logic that makes putting Islam and LGBT advocacy together somehow.
It's weird.
It is very
strange bedfellows, man. I hate her, but I'm forced to admit I've seen worse, way worse. Aside from the really bad ink, that's actually not bad. If her attitude didn't leave a shit smell in the room, I'd take a bullet, says Craig Miller. I'm assuming you're talking about Lena Dunham. Look, Lena's not the ugliest woman on the world. She's not you're right. Her attitude is what makes Lena so horrible. She's not somebody you'd be walking down the street and be like, damn. But I mean, she's somebody you wouldn't even notice most of the time.
Yeah, she's also not somebody who I'd be like, wow, that's a hideous bitch.
Right. You walk past her.
Her attitude just makes her very unattractive.
I have seen blood everywhere. It's not empowering. It was just a dead insurgent with half of his head blown away. It was a good look for him.
Ah,
nice. Why is Lena Dunham so damn dumb? He says because she's a crazy SJW. I mean, I don't know why she's that way though. What gender is Teddy? He's a teddy bear. He has no gender.
The side effects of feminism is stupidity.
Did Monkey and Satsu see the link I sent on Twitter about the real life saw blade launcher? Yes, I did. That was awesome.
I did not see that actually.
This dude made one. It looks as close as you can make it to look to the one in Far Cry New Dawn.
Oh,
and it actually shoots.
God.
I'm gonna have to check this out. Let me look at that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for sending that link. Did y'all hear some woman's paying R. Kelly's bail, and now people are boycotting her business?
Oh yeah,
I didn't.
That's news to me.
Yeah, somebody was freaking out about that. That there were the dude. I think his lawyer or whatever was like, there are several women contacting me trying to figure out how they can pay his bail.
What is it with women and hooking up with people that go to jail?
Because he'd be playing them baby makers, man. Look, R. Kelly is responsible for at least 3 of their kids.
Didn't Bundy get lots of mail from women too?
Oh, there's nary a serial killer who gets any kind of press goes to jail without getting some kind of love letters and things. I mean, you can go online right now and read or have read to you copies of the correspondence that Chris Watts, the guy who just murdered his pregnant wife and 2 little kids, has been getting from women, like them sending him pictures of them in bikinis and like, I just want to talk, if you ever need somebody to talk to, it's like, what? I've never understood that attraction. Never, ever.
This is why women's votes shouldn't count. Real quick, Cryptic, thank you so much. My florist died last week. He kicked the bouquet. And he goes on to say, yes, that's a bad one. Sorry. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the joke and the donations.
I know it's question time, but real quick, another story that was shared. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but it was Facebook documents roaming millennial as an example of bad content to demote.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I didn't read the story. Somebody sent a YouTube video earlier today, but I was watching Alex Jones.
I'm just like, out of all the people they could have picked, Romy Millennial, really?
Um,
I guess because she's kind of doing well, so.
she is, and she's charismatic, and because of the merger of Blaze and whatever that was, it CRTV, she now works for Glenn Beck. So yeah, she's gonna get some stuff at her, and I don't think it's fair, because I like roaming. And roaming's like the least person you should go at for something like this. She's just a nice girl, who has some opinions, and she's perfectly willing to listen to opinions. But there's still a lot of people mad about her about the Richard Spencer interview.
Well, you got to remember too, she's also pretty, a quote unquote woman of color. So she's a traitor too. So I gotta.
Indeed, I'm not surprised. It is fucked up, but I'm not surprised by it. Yeah, because she's going to be the kind. She's going to be the kind that people go after because she is charismatic and she comes across very sweet.
This picture though, man, it's bugging me. She got a fuck ton of makeup in this picture.
Where were we here? Ranting Monkey, are you the Alex Jones of apes? I'm not really into the... Man, you should have heard some of the conspiracy theories they were going on today. Interdimensional aliens, man.
Oh yeah.
Interdimensional elves. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Frosty Glass says, Monkey, about your question on MITAM, about who is the modern bogey, what about Robert Downey Jr.? Scribbles, maybe you can help me with this one.
Okay.
We were talking last night about the old school actors, Cary Grant, Humphrey Bogart, these guys who just embodied, class. I mean, they not necessarily always on the screen, because sometimes like Bogey played prisoners, but like when he was out in public and everything, I mean, this was just a classy motherfucker. You just don't see that in modern day actors.
Well, there are a few. The first one that comes to mind is Tom Hiddleston. Loki. If you're talking about like American actors, that might be a tougher sell for me because that's. But actually, if you ever heard like Bradley Cooper, like be interviewed or just talking about stuff, if you ever want to see a really class act, find the Bradley Cooper Inside the Actors Studio, where he's actually the interviewee rather than being somebody in the audience back when he was a student. I'm watching and listening to interviews with Bradley Cooper. I've got a lot of respect for that guy, and he's class so far as I know. I mean, unless he's got some skeletons in the closet, but like Tom Hiddleston, classy guy. Benedict Cumberbatch, very classy guy. So there are some actors out there that do it. As far as like being a rough and tumble, like masculine bogey type, I don't know. It's the sort of weathered, Indiana Jones type. I mean, I guess like Harrison Ford would be one after a fashion, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know. A lot of the actors these days are very fresh faced, sort of. Don't really have that sort of old school toughness to them.
As for Robert Downey Jr., which was offered in that question there, maybe today, but I still have memories of him from his youth, and definitely not.
Yeah, well, he's redeemed himself in a lot of ways, though.
Real quick, Diesel Dave, thank you. Scribe, I watched an episode of Biographics, and your avatar is depressing.
Episode of what?
Biographics is what it looks like.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. You'll have to expand on that. So,
but he says that your thing is saddening.
Okay, well, sorry, I guess.
Furries are not pedophiles. Change my mind. I'm not gonna even try to change your mind. Jagunsky asks, have you ever tried dissenters? The add-on that lets you comment on all news articles. No, I haven't. Diesel Dave, thank you. He says Keanu Reeves is a total badass. Look, Keanu is, but Keanu is also not. I mean, there's a way, if you go back and you look at just the photos of these guys, Grant, Spencer, Bogart, Humphrey, there was something about them, just the way they carried themselves.
Well, it was also a different time and a different sort of culture around how you both the Hollywood star machine and society in general was far different back then than it is now. It's much more casual now.
Well, here's the thing: those guys look so cool. No matter what, the Rat Pack was another one we were talking about. I mean, these guys just look fucking cool all the time.
You know who looked cool all the time? Robert Mitchum. That guy looked like a fucking. No matter what he was doing, he looked like a badass.
Yeah, and it was hard coming up with anybody who kind of fits that. And I get what you're saying. Yes, it is a different time and everything. But the closest I could come up with was maybe DiCaprio. But he looked like a kid for so long, he kind of missed out on the whole looking cool his whole life.
You know, probably the last two actors I can think of, and they're not even from my generation or our generation, but Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Robert Redford and Paul Newman still. I mean, even though Paul Newman's dead, Robert Redford's still around. Even though Robert Redford looks like a craggy old man, he's still got class. You know, he still comes across as a classy guy. I don't agree with all his politics, but that's beside the point. I don't know that might be a lost art at this point, given what the media and what celebrity is these days.
Thank you, Diesel Dave. It was on Niachi. I'm not.
I don't know what that means. Biographics on the. Okay, I'll Google it because I don't know what this is.
Okay, let's get back. We're falling behind on the questions, so I'm gonna get back into these here. Where are we at? Lords of the Night. What do you think of the Irish potato famine conspiracy that they use the potatoes to make booze instead of them not growing well?
The potato famine was because of the blight.
Yeah.
It was like a fungus or something that basically made all the potatoes bad, and that destroyed a large source of the nutrition for people at that time and in that place. So I don't know what the conspiracy would be otherwise. There's a YouTube channel called Biographics. Never heard of it. Sorry. I guess there's a video about either the artist or the painting. I don't know. So I'll look around. If you got a link, by all means.
Is Lena Dunham dumber than a pet rock? No, she's dumb, but mostly what Lena Dunham is she's an attention seeker. That's it. That's all she exists for. She wants attention. That's why she says things like, "I wish I'd had an abortion. I wish I'd been raped." What the fuck is wrong with you, crazy bitch? Can you tell people to stop telling me that I'm Jewish? My religion is a personal issue. They're not making you be Jewish by saying it. I mean,
what?
I don't know. Toasted. People, please stop telling Toasted he's Jewish. Press 1 in the chat if you think Toasted is Jewish.
I don't know. Is he toasted bread or a bagel?
He's goddamn you. Can you fight Takasaw? We need a cripple fight. I don't think my wife would approve that. Can you do a good Al Bundy? Not his voice. I mean, I can act like him. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I was thinking the other day. You know what? A lost diamond of the guy who played Al Bundy. I suddenly forget his name.
Ed O'Neill.
Ed O'Neill. Lost diamond of Ed O'Neill's career. A movie called Dutch.
Dutch is awesome.
Yeah, nobody talks about Dutch. I love Dutch. I love that movie. It's one of the sort of the last sort of, in my mind, of the old style road comedies.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've made one since that I enjoyed as much. But yeah, if you can find a copy of Dutch, give it a shot.
There's actually a great episode of Married with Children where they go into a video store and there's a big display of Dutch things.
That's right.
Yeah, it's blocked off, so you can't actually see Ed O'Neill's face. But it's for Dutch. Yeah.
That's great.
Wish me luck tomorrow as I'm going in for a mastectomy to remove breast cancer I've got. Thank you.
Ah.
Moonshot. Damn. Yes, I wish you all the luck in the world.
Yeah. Take it easy and rest up after that. Holy cow.
And let us know how it goes. Moonshot, you've been with us for a while, and yeah, I want you to be around for a long time. Why was Ranting Monkey in Scribe's avatars and Barbara for you to see's video? Satsu is in there too.
That was the biggest one in there. Jesus.
Yeah, mine's just kind of in the background and Scribe's on the cup.
Somebody made that she did one of those Photoshop me things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was like showcasing all of the ones in her video.
I didn't watch the video. Did she put the one in there with the casting couch?
Yeah, she was like, this was bound to happen at some point.
It's like every guy in the internet knows what that couch is.
Yeah.
Do you think that I'm guessing that's what do you think about the view that lesbians are not real? Of course they're real. Do I think they actually only like to fuck women? I don't know. I'm not one of them, so I can't tell you.
Diesel, did you mean a biographics video on Nietzsche? Because I'm not finding anything called Niachi. If you're talking about Nietzsche, well, Nietzsche will make you depressed no matter what you're talking about. I'm assuming that maybe the picture, the Wander Above the Sea Fog was in there somewhere. I'll have to look. But if you mean Nietzsche,
Sean.
And Nietzsche is depressing.
Sean, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Real fast, Devil Fruit Zero asks, Satsu, are you playing Pokemon Sword and Shield?
I might get it, depending on what more information comes out. It looks cool enough.
Jean asks if we're covering the Hanoi summit. We didn't.
Yeah, there's a couple of stories, but a lot of it's been locked down. Nothing's been really reported as to outcomes yet.
Right.
So,
other than another historic moment, the significance of the historic moment is going to depend on what happens because of the summit. And
right.
I think it's great that there's talk going on. Anytime there's talking, I think it's a better thing than just threatening each other with nukes, you know. Peter says lots of people have seen those elves while on DMT. Yeah, it's amazing what you'll see when you get stoned out of your fucking mind. I mean, a lot of people who die see God before they're brought back. P-Dog Knight asked George Clooney, talking about the cool guys. George Clooney kind of tried to adopt that persona around the time of Ocean's 11. And he pulls it off okay, but...
Clooney... I guess that whole Neo Rat Pack, Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon kind of thing, sort of, but...
Except Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yeah.
He will always be Matt Damon.
Yeah, because did Bogey ever do, like, a goofy comedy movie?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, Cary Grant was willing to do comedy and stuff, and that's fine. That doesn't sort of sully the image just because you do something goofy.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, I am not a huge fan of Brad Pitt, but you know what? He's probably the one who could pull it off the most.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's cool, man.
Yep, he is.
He's just fucking. Except for that phase he had with the really long beard for no fucking reason.
Well, maybe he was growing it out for a role or something. They sometimes have to do that.
Lords of the Night, does the marketing for Captain Marvel, really affect your excitement for Endgame? It doesn't affect it at all.
No, the trailer for this is what I'm talking about. Like the trailer for Endgame, the first real trailer for Endgame that came out. You see, that movie is the culmination of so much stuff built up behind it. Mm-hmm. And we've already seen from Infinity War that this is something to look forward to. Captain Marvel has absolutely no lead up to it. The character is not a major player in the Marvel universe.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Miss Marvel and everything has been a memorable one, and they've played her up more over the last couple of years in preparation for this in the comic books. But otherwise, it was always kind of a B or C list character in the Marvel comics, despite their name. And Captain Marvel's been a male and a female and everything else. But the problem with me for the movie, as far as the marketing, is the trailer was uninspiring. It didn't send any chills up my spine. It didn't make me excited for things that I was seeing at all. Her performance, at least portrayed in the trailer, was so flat and wooden. I didn't even get any excitement. Like, this didn't even seem like sort of like Guardians of the Galaxy. This is going to be fun. She didn't look like she was having any fun. There was no sense of adventure or anything. And there's this one sequence where she's like fighting on a train and she's like about to fall off the train. And they're about to go through a tunnel and she's hanging off the side of the train. I'm like, wait, she can fly. Did she lose her powers? But then she jumps up on the train and zaps somebody with laser beams. So I'm like, I don't know. The trailer did not inspire me. They had the added effect of, by the way, did you know that she's a woman? I mean, I felt like I was being talked down to by the trailer in a certain sense. So a whole bunch of things make me not excited for that movie. And even if it didn't have the whole feminist thing on it, it's sort of like Ant-Man. I didn't go out and rush to see Ant-Man first day because it's like, well, I like the character, but he's not like in my top 5 or something. So,
for the record, Scribe said this before the feminist thing ever came up. He's like, it was just uninspired. She looked bored through the whole thing. And that's when I went and watched him. Like, he's right.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people talk about. That scene, that 1 second scene at the end of the Infinity War or whatever, is the only reason that they can push this this feminist shit, and they're not stopping her with confidence or whatever, because they know that people are going to essentially have to at least check this movie out to get the full scope of what's going to happen in Endgame. They're like, they're going to go see it anyway. They're going to be pissed off, but we can still pull this narrative and still make money at the same time, even though we're shit talking our fans and stuff or whatever, because we kind of put them in a position where they have to see this movie. Yeah. Even though there was no follow-up or whatever, but she's going to play a key role in that movie. So if you don't want to be left out of the loop, you have to go see it, whether we shit talk you and call you assholes and sexist or not. So
the only utility to this movie is to set up whatever's going to happen in Endgame and how she's going to save reality or whatever, and also to establish the Skrulls as an undercover threat, because I would be amazed if the next big unification movie, like a Civil War or an Avengers or whatever down the line, isn't tied in some way to Skrulls having infiltrated either S.H.I.E.L.D. again or some of the superheroes or whatever. If we don't have a secret invasion plot line as being set up in Captain Marvel, I would be amazed.
Okay, we got a lot left here, and not much time left. Real quick, guys, if you're going to play on the 7 Days to Die server with us, make sure your game is updated. There was an update tonight. You got a few minutes, otherwise you're not going to be able to play until you do get updated. Just letting you know. Greg says, Ranting Monkey Dude. Oh, fuck, it just jumped. That's not what he said. That's give me a second here. There we go. Nope, that's not it. There. Wow, I am quite a ways behind. Fuck, where's the do? All right, I'm just picking one. Monkey Dude, you're only a year younger. I'm only a year younger than you. Lena Dunham is absolutely your average dirty girl with a large rump back in our day. Only current real life Lena is badly tattooed mess. Yeah. Like you said, she's not horrible. You just wouldn't pay much attention to her. You'd bang her if she offered. I mean, depending on how old you were.
Yeah, and you wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I mean, are you covering? Okay, we already answered that one. If you could replace one MCU actor with another, who and who's the replacement? Wow.
It would have been Terrence Howard with Don Cheadle to keep continuity.
Oh, there you go.
Other than that, I would have preferred Doctor Strange would have been Joaquin Phoenix. There was rumors for a while that Joaquin Phoenix was going to be Doctor Strange.
Would have been good.
And I always thought that his dedication to his roles and his intensity would have made a much more interesting Doctor Strange than Cumberbatch. Even though I like Cumberbatch in the role, he hasn't done a bad job or anything. At the point where I heard that Cumberbatch was going to be taking the role, I thought he's just a little oversaturated at this point. I'm seeing Benedict Cumberbatch all over the place. Star Trek and Lord of the Rings and Sherlock and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, et cetera, et cetera. I just thought, get somebody who is a bona fide dramatic actor, you know, and Joaquin Phoenix could have done that. And I would have loved to see him do it.
Do you think that he's as dedicated to his roles as Lena Dunham is to hers?
I see what you did there. Who was the guy who played Bruce Banner first? What was his name?
It was that was Edward Norton.
Norton, yeah. I'd prefer they kept him, and I understand why they didn't, but Ruffalo, get rid of him.
Yeah, Ruffalo's a too the perfect casting would have been Steve Buscemi from the 90s, because Bruce Banner should look like an absolute weakling, like physically and otherwise. That's supposed to be the contrast. Mark Ruffalo isn't exactly, you know, Mr. Universe or anything, but I always thought the perfect Bruce Banner would have been a round, eyeglassed Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, Sean covered that. There's all the ones. If Trump says racist stuff constantly, then why doesn't Omarosa and Mike Cohen have the recording? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Lords of Night, have you tried ranch wings from Walmart? No, I have not.
No.
Scribbles.
Oh no, I don't. I've been to Walmart like 5 times in my life.
You got to get there more. It's a lot of fun. If Cohen lied today, why didn't Mueller speak up like he did the BuzzFeed story? If he lied about what today?
Yeah, those are 2 separate things, right?
Well, the reason that they came out with the BuzzFeed story and went, oh, I think I understand what you're saying. They came out and told, they said, look, the stuff you have in that article is wrong. And Cohen's testimony today actually backed that up. Because what they said is that Cohen provided testimony and evidence that Donald Trump had told him to lie to Congress. And Cohen today said, no, that's not what happened. He never told me to lie to Congress. And the Mueller team came out and said, your story's wrong. So, I mean,
yep.
That would be a point of believing not just him saying it, but the facts we have at hand. Favorite monster? Just vampires in general?
Yeah, I was about to say just vampires in general. I mean, there's various types. I like some types better than others, but yeah, as a general rule. Satsu like zombies. We know that for a fact.
Satsu zombies your favorite monster?
Indeed.
Okay. Are you in a Joe Rogan versus Alex Jones type fight with Sophane? I'm not in any fight with Sophane.
No, but you should do an interview with Sophane and just kind of stop and say, okay, look, to be honest, I'm retarded.
No, he can say that line.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Now you are.
We don't need me saying that. Why did Captain Marvel allow half the universe to get destroyed in Infinity War? Because she's a bitch. Have you seen her face?
Why wasn't she there in the first place? Why hasn't she been tracking down Thanos this whole time? I'm going to be very curious to know. I'm sure they will explain it somehow. There will be some reason as to why she was otherwise engaged or somewhere else or something that'll seem to belie the notion that she's, you know, the protector of the universe or whatever. But
Thanos snapped. Way too many women were affected, so she was like, "Oh shit, no! Now I got to jump in."
Where are we at here? I pissed a bunch of people off today by saying that Gillette should advertise its razors, not its ideology. Are you proud of me or disappointed in me? If that's what you believe, I'm proud of you. Stand up for what you believe in. And I agree.
I'm proud of you, then shame.
Yeah, I should be.
Look, nobody is more of a stand up for what you believe in kind of person than I am, and
he can barely stand.
yeah, no shit. And I've warned my son about this. You have to be careful because people don't always respond to it well. But if you can, yeah, stand up for yourself always. With that, guys, that is the end of the show, and I thank you so much for the questions, the donations tonight. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for the generosity. Don't forget to come over. Check us out on 2 Cents Plus. We'll be playing 7 Days to Die on the open server tonight, which you can join if you have the game on PC and you're updated. Or you can just come out, watch us. It's a lot of fun. Tomorrow night, we will be on Satsu's channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, Scribbles, Satsu, a pleasure as always. And everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.